All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and an honor to come together today again for another program of Real Talk with Ian and Ian. And today is really a special program for me because I have a great privilege of training and running alongside one of my favorite all-time greatest runner, and his name is Bershawn Batman Jackson. So
Thank you for
today
having me.
we're gonna. There's so much to talk about, so I just want to kick the program off just to say that Bershawn is here today, and this is, as I said, a true story with his daughter, who is following and trying to emulate his father's footstep. I believe he's going to be better than his dad, so I just want to publicly declare that.
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
we just want to
Like right.
give him the glory and honor, and we want to let him know that, man, we appreciate everything he's done. I took out my USA hat today for all the fans watching, and a show the respect and honor to my former training partner. So we're going to let Ian say a word, and then we'll just get Bershawn just to introduce himself, and then we'll just get into the program.
Well, good afternoon to our fans or viewers, wherever you guys are watching from across the world. We're just pleased this afternoon to be able to bring to you two wonderful people, father and a daughter, who are able to inspire the world, who have basically graced the track with their God-given talents. And tonight, I am just so pleased to be a part of this panel, to be here in an interview that have two Olympians over the distance of a 400-meter hurdle. We all know that a hurdle basically is challenges and the barrier being set in your way, and you have to overcome them if you're going to get to victory. And I just want to say I really appreciate it. But most of all, as a young father, to just watch Bershawn and his daughter, to watch the way that he had basically played such influential parts in her life, just to see her coming up in the footstep of daddy. That made me feel proud with two young daughters, a young father. It give me somebody to look up to. And with that said, I have some big questions for Bershawn in terms of being a father. I'll come from that side because you realize I'm still the two top Olympians here. I ain't gonna get in that water. But welcome, viewers, welcome to this broadcast, and I hope you guys will be blessed and you guys will definitely be motivated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for having us. It's a
All
pleasure.
right, thank you guys. So today, as I said, we got Bershawn Jackson and Shawnti Jackson. Guys, I don't know which one to start with first because they're like they're two legendary Jackson, and we're having right in front of us. So we just want. I'm going to start with Bershawn because, as I said, he is more. He's like a brother to me, and I'm really, as I said, I appreciate that he give us the opportunity to share this story here. So, Bershawn, first, I just want to know about the name Batman. We just want to know where that name come from. So we just want to start off with that.
Once again, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having me on. So the nickname Batman came when I was 10 years old. They said I had big ears and I fly when I run. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
the nickname kind of resonated around 10, 11 years old. And I hated it at first because, at first I felt like it was an insult. Then they broke it down basically saying like, Batman didn't have too many gadgets and gadgets, but he was a hero through the night. Like he was quick on his feet and, he executed everything far as, protecting people. So, the big ears and his philosophy of what Batman stands for fit me well.
All right, awesome, awesome. So before I talk about Shawnti, we want to we have a little video of her accomplishment here that we the question. I just want you guys just to look at this race.
And we're underway. It is Jackson and Jackson. And Shawnti taking the lead. James coming along with her, but it's Bat Kid all the way. In an 11 and a half, and that may be a new record. It is 11:57. Shawnti Jackson knocks down Kaylin Whitney's old mark by 0.02 of a second. And, you know, it's real simple in the 100. Out of the blocks, up to speed, keep it turning over. And she does it that well, and I'm sure Batman is happy right now with that. 11:57. James a nice 11:85. And Kenner 11:86, quality field. And another record at JO's. And of course, periodically we have to add the disclaimer, all records are pending becoming official.
All right, guys. So, Shawnti, I'm going to ask you another question. First, welcome to the platform. I know this is the first of many interviews you're going to be doing, because a lot of people don't realize that you are so talented. Actually did some more research, and I didn't know that you were so versatile in 100, 200, and 400. So first, I just want you to say, who is Shawnti Jackson? Just tell us who are you? And you could just introduce yourself and say, how old are you? And just saying, what school do you go to?
My name is Shawnti Jackson. I'm 15 years old from Raleigh, North Carolina. I go to Wakefield High School, and I do the 1, 2, and 4.
All right, guys. That's awesome, man. I just love to hear that. I wish I could just replay and just echo, and it sounds so diligent. So, Ian, now that we have the Jacksons on stage, what you would want to find out about them?
Well, you know, I'm gonna start with the kids, man. That's where I'm growing, you know. So, Shawnti, that I really wanna find out from Shawnti, how much Daddy influenced her in terms of her track and field career, you know, starting into track and field. Was Daddy an influence to you, or you just realized that, guess what, I was born for the tracks?
And so, well, I had went to one of his track meets, and they had a youth section, and I just wanted to run, and they got me into the meet, and that's how I know, like, I wanted to do track.
How old were you?
I was like 5.
Wow.
4 or 5.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
so you were 4. So to kind of elaborate what she was saying, I went to an indoor meet, and a lady by the name of Tanja Beautiful Bailey was the meet director. So Shawnti was crying. She was 3 turning 4 this particular year, and she was crying to run, and it was only 8-year-olds. So she said, well, let her run. Let the 8-year-olds go by first, and then we could throw Shawnti on the track, and then she could run, but she won't get ran over. But to put everything in a nutshell, we put her on the track. We let the kids pass by, then we put her on the track, and we gave her a baton, and she just ran. But she blew past the 8-year-olds and 3-year-olds, and we all in total shock. We like,
wow,
did you see that? Did you see that? And I had the camera record, but she ran so fast. I put the camera down and just started screaming, like, run, like, did you see? And it was one of them proud dad moments. So I think from there, we knew, okay, wow, this kid might like track and field.
Wow.
all right.
That's a story. I just imagine myself on that line. As you did, I dropped the camera and running after her.
Yeah. All right. So now I said I'm gonna focus a lot on Bershawn, because, as I said, we have a lot together, and a lot of these things I always never get the opportunity to officially just ask him, but I wanted to move back to his high school. I know that he went to Jamaica to compete in the World Junior Championship in Kingston, Jamaica. So and Bershawn, as I said, he traveled all over the world, and he competes in many different countries. So Bershawn, go back and explain to us what was that experience like competing in Kingston, Jamaica at the World Junior Championship in the year 2002. 2002, I believe.
2002, yes. I'm gonna take it a step back. I'm gonna step back one step and lead up to that moment. But I was a kid that didn't have much promise in track and field. I was decent. I always been a small guy. And thanks Lord to a guy named Jesse Hope who invested in my life, and he installed so much in me. He's seen a lot of me I ain't seeing myself, and I never thought track and field was my destiny. At one point when I was 13, 14, I just couldn't win. I wasn't having fun. And I didn't think that track and field would go as far as it went. But, to put everything in a nutshell, my junior year, I ran cross country, and my coach said, don't quit. Let's keep working. Let's keep trying. And I let my kids know it's the journey, because we always think, okay, it's going to be instant gratification. I'm going to win every time I step on the track. But we all face adversity, and my adversity was 13, 14, 15 years old when I was not making the finals at Junior Olympics and not one of the best kids, not even mentioned. So my junior year, I ran cross country to do something different. And I had a really good junior season. So I said, you know what, my senior year, I'm running cross country again. And I ran cross country weeks. And when I say I was unstoppable, like, I don't know what it was. I don't know. My mindset always been strong. Always been the warrior. Always been fierce. My work ethic always been impeccable. But, it didn't really resonate to me that track and field is my thing until my senior year, where I started getting college offers. And on my mom's side of the family, first in my family, get my college degree. So I didn't look to go to college because it was just so routine that people didn't go to school. But then I started getting all these colleges coming to recruit me. And I'm like, wow, I think I might be good in track,
All right.
LSU. But when they recruited me, and I'm gonna lead up to Jamaica, but when they was recruiting me, they wanted to make me a quarter miler and a 200 runner because the 400 hurdles, I was too short and I was too short for the 110. They said my structure and the way I run wouldn't really last on a long term in the hurdles. So I like, no, I want to be a hurdler. Only one who wanted me for the hurdles was South Carolina and University of Florida. But I ran 300 hurdles in high school, and I ran 35.3, which I ran at that point was the third fastest time ever in the history of the sport. And then I ran the 400 hurdles qualified. I ran 50.3, my first 400 hurdle race. And then I go to Jamaica, and my mind said, I'm always going to win weeks. I'm going to win no matter what. And I didn't really train because I didn't know nothing about the World Juniors. It was a lady named Miss Kamani said, you should try for the junior trials. And I said, well, I don't know if my parents going to send me there. I'm not sure. So Coach Jesse Hope said, I will pay for you to go to the junior trials, not knowing what this meet stands for. Yeah. So I go to the meet and win it. I win the junior trials in weeks. I had no idea. I was just so illiterate when it came to track and field. I didn't watch the Olympic Games. I didn't, track just wasn't everyday life for me. And I win this team, and they said, you got to go register for the team. I said, what team you talking about? He said, you made it to the World Juniors in Jamaica. I said, that's what's up. I'm going to Jamaica. So we had a free meet in the Bahamas. So we all met up, Team USA, to get my USA gear. And I go to Bahamas. I'm like, man, like, this is amazing. And then I go to the World Juniors. But to run you through the World Junior race is I get there, and I'm like, I'm about to win this sucker. Like, I'm going to train hard, and I'm going to win it. So we got 3 rounds. I won every round. I won the prelims, ran 51 high, semis, 50.5. The finals come, and I got the fastest time going to the finals. And I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm about to do some crazy stuff today. Like, I was always that hype, energetic guy, but I never, in the history of my career, been in a facility with so much energy in my life. I competed in the Olympic Games. I competed in the World Championship. It was just overwhelmingly amazing. It was packed, and people couldn't get in no more. They were jumping over the gate. They were jumping over the wall to get into the stadium, and the stadium was electrifying. And it was a kid by the name of Little. Last name was Little. He made the finals from Jamaica.
I think it's Gregory
Little.
Yeah.
Look, he made the final. So it was crazy. Like the energy in the stadium was like something I never felt before. And I'm a young kid. At this point, I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
And it was me. It was a guy named LJ Benzel. It was a guy named Kenny Ferguson. We was like the main three people was looking at. And I'm like, I got this race in the bag. And my Achilles heel was I ran 300 hurdles all season, not 400 hurdles. So my stride pattern was a little bit off. But I got out the race weeks and I took out the first 2 hurdles and I went blank. And I came around the home stretch and I was winning. And I got to the 9th hurdle and I stutter step. And they shot past me. Then I caught up to them and I stutter step again because I ain't have no stride pattern.
Yeah.
And only thing I remember from that race is I tried to catch him over the last hurdle, but I ran out of room and I gave up at the end. I was and I teach my kids I was a sore loser, right? And sore losing meant I hated to lose. So I trained so hard to be great. And that's a good characteristic and it's a bad characteristic, right? Because we teach our kids character, we teach our kids character, we teach our kids integrity, and I passed the line and I ran 50 flat, 50-0-0. The guy who won ran 48-8. The guy who took second went 49-3. And I was kicking it behind. I was out front. I was gone, right? And I think to myself, like, man, if I wouldn't have stutter step, I probably could have ran 48 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was upset. I got third and I was pissed. And I ain't want to get the medal. I ain't want to go to the award ceremony. Like, I was that type of kid. I'm a kid from the projects. I'm from Miami, Florida. I'm from a rough area. And we was raised a certain way. And I was raised as I want to win. I want to make a difference in weeks. But, the grand scheme of things, I got the 4x4 gold medal and I got the bronze medal in the 400 hurdles. And I think that kind of started my career because when I first turned pro and started to go a little bit further is when I first went pro, they told me I was too small for the 400 hurdles.
Yeah.
They told me my stride pattern won't work. The analytics said the fastest anybody ever ran was 47.9.
Yeah.
So shoe companies didn't want to invest in me because they said I got so much room for improvement.
Yeah.
So shoe companies was kind of hesitant because they say, well, this guy's short. He's 15 strides the whole way. He would never be an Edwin Moses. He would never be a fast 47 guy. He'll be the best he can do is 47.9, quote unquote, the analytics.
Yeah.
And I had a chip on my shoulder my whole life. I felt like I always had to prove something. And I went to school and I got my degree and track and field saved my life. And once I started my professional career, world champion, 47.3.
Yeah. And we're going to ask you a little bit about that. Yeah, we're going to ask you a little bit about the, because you got so much history. We just want to back it up a little bit, just to see where it all started, and then we want to move along a little bit, just to find out about, because we know that you went to one of the top school in North Carolina, traditional, historically black school. And and that's a long legacy because we want to also just to let everybody know about your great coach that I have the privilege to train with also. So after the World Junior, you got a little taste of this thing. It was like, man, for what I did, I didn't even train, I didn't prepare, I didn't know what I was getting into. And then now when I get into it, I'm like, man, these guys are preparing for this all year, and I just went ahead just because I want to go to Jamaica, and then now I'm just like, man. So I get the whole sore loser thing because everybody want to go, any good person, if you go in the war, you want to go prepare, But the good thing about that, I know for sure that inspire you to move on to bigger things. So after the World Junior, you came back home. So what was your decision? At that time? I know that a lot of colleges was after you. So what were your choices about going to a D1 school, and how did you end up at St. Augustine?
Good question. So after my decision to go to school, Originally I thought about South Carolina. South Carolina was my choice. It was a coach by the name of Jesse Hope, was best friends with Coach Williams. They grew up together in Miami. Coach Williams is from Miami. And I know nothing about St. Aug. And they told me the tradition, Antonio Pettigrew and Jerome Young, and it was a list of Olympians that went to the school. And this coach said, I always was by your side. He said, I won't steer you wrong. Do me this favor and go to my friend in North Carolina. Like, you won't be disappointed. So I said, all right, I try it out. You know, this coach has been there for me. And I get there weeks, and it's nothing I imagined. I imagined going to a huge school with AC in the dorms. It wasn't no AC in my dorms when I got there. 1,000-student college. The track was old and ripped up, and I'm like, oh, what I got myself into.
Yeah.
But the moment I stepped on campus and I met George Williams, my whole life changed.
Okay.
Because I made the best decision I could ever make in life. You know, I tell my kids, it's not where you at, it's where you're going. You know, we put so much emphasis in D1. We put so much emphasis in, you know, going to a school that have history. But it's up to you. You know, you're in control of your own destiny. And when I went to St. Aug, my first year at St. Aug as freshman, I made the World Championship team in 03 in Paris. So I go from the World Juniors 02.
Yeah.
At 19, I go to the as a freshman in college, I go to the World Championship. So it happened so fast. My first race, even competing the 400 in college, I PR. Then I PR and I PR again. I'm like, okay, I think I'm built for this.
Things starting to take off real fast. So how was? Yes. We don't want to. I want to get Shawnti. I don't want her to be that bored. I know she's listening to you, and because one day she's going to be making her decision also. And I know just hearing the pros and the cons about schools, this is going to help her to make the best decision for her. So we just want to touch now a little bit about Shawnti. So I'm gonna ask my co-host here, Ian, to get Shawnti, warm Shawnti up for me.
Okay, Shawnti. So just listening to your dad. Basically, I say it's just happened by accident that he actually realized his potential as an athlete. But hearing from you, at 4-year-old, you wanted to run. So that is totally different from daddy. In that at 4-year-old, I guess you realized that you had something inside of you in terms of your athletic ability. Okay, so since that time, and was it that you started to concentrate a lot on running, or you just let it go by? How did you develop further passion for the sport? You want to break it down?
I just started taking it serious. Like when I was younger, I was just playing around, having fun, just doing random meets, running random events, trying to figure out what events I'm good at. And then now that I'm in high school, I'm trying to take it like a little bit more serious. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so I realized you're good over 3 distance, basically 100, 200, 300. But I know each athlete they have their pet event. What would you consider your pet event of the 3 distance?
Probably the 200.
All right.
Because it's not too long and it's not too short, and it's like just right. Like just right. It's like if you mess up, you have time to recover.
Okay, great.
Well, Ian, that just tell her how good she's gonna be. Because I mean, to have that type of range to run the 100, 200, and 400. Honestly, I don't know. We don't know which one she's gonna do later on in life. Sometimes it's not the one that you like. Sometimes it's the one that you get better at and you see the bigger opportunity. So I know when I first started out running, I wanted to run the 800. I didn't want to run 400 hurdles because I mean it's like, why would I want to run hurdles? I'm like, I just want to do something easily. So when my coach was like, look, Weeks, I think you should try the hurdles. I think it's easier for you to get on the junior team and try to make the World Junior and go on that. We have a big tradition from my high school. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out. So I ran the thing, and I ran it, and I saw, oh man, I naturally was good at it because I used to be a goalkeeper when I was younger. So I used to jump. So I got a little range, and I'm tall. So, I just really excel on that and train on that. So, but the question that I want to ask Shawnti, I know that right now our pet event is the 400, but I wanted to find out what is it like to be running, knowing that your dad was so successful. I mean, what you do to motivate yourself. Obviously, you have from a family that you've been to so much, you've seen so much with track and field. So, just for you, what exactly motivate you? And just tell us about your training. How much do you train?
I train 3 times a week. Yeah, I train 3 times a week, and I just wanted to run for myself. I don't really think about him as well. People be like, "Oh, you just running because your dad wants to run. Because your dad runs, he probably forces you to run because he ran." Not really. He didn't want me to run track at first. He didn't want me to follow his footsteps, but I just wanted to do it.
Okay,
It wasn't
awesome.
really a motivation.
I know that you're very athletic. Is there anything what other sport do you do? And just give us a little thing about how diverse you are, because I know that everybody might think that you just run. So just let the fans know what else you do and what other accomplishment do you have.
I play soccer. I play soccer right now, and I did a little bit of basketball.
Tell me how good you were doing soccer.
In soccer, I averaged 3 goals a game,
Wow.
and I was the scorer for the past 2 years.
Okay, so you look like you would go scorer. So what position do you play? Are you a striker?
Striker and right forward.
Oh man, awesome. So for all the little kids that's watching this program right now, because this program, as I said, is designed for families during this period. Obviously, we know that a lot of family is home right now. What would you say? How do you balance training and school, doing track and football? How do you balance all of that?
I go to track and soccer. I make sure they're in a different season. So track, I do fall soccer, and do track in the summer. And I just go to school, and then after school, I have track practice, and then I go home and do homework. Or if I'm doing soccer, I go to school, I come home, do homework, then go to soccer practice. And on the weekends, I have the games and meets.
Okay, good. I got one more question for you to add on that. So what similarities you notice about yourself compared to your dad in terms of athletics?
I don't know. I think he was more. We're not really the same. We're like the total opposite of each other.
Like similarities in track and field.
We have nothing like from when we get ready to our event.
No. So I think the similarity, they kind of elaborate on your question. I think the similarities is her work ethic, her approach. For me, I was a killer. Like I wanted to track and I smelled blood, and I tried to install that. For her, it's like a developmental thing, right? I try to. I don't want my kids following my footsteps, but if you're gonna do it, we're gonna do it the right way. So I teach my kids work ethic. I teach her. And I teach all my kids work ethic. I teach them mindset. I see athletes go to Olympic Games be in the best shape of their life and choke. So I teach her the mental aspect of the game, performing when the lights are on, right? So the similarities is she's becoming that kind of, creature where she want to just rip your head off. She's a silent assassin. And also I feel like her approach to the game, her stride pattern, her work ethic. Like I think she get a lot of that from me. I think that's the similarities. If I say come through here at a minute, she'll come through at 59.
Okay.
So I think that was always my philosophy. Which best. You get out what you put in, and I worked hard, and I teach my kids that same type of work ethic, that same type of approach. So I think as far as the similarities, I think it would be, you know, now the difference is what she's trying to elaborate on is I was hyped before the race. I was like, let's go. And she like, she's calm and she's like sitting down and she's like twirling her thumbs. But she ready to roll when the lights are on. But you know, I think the similarities would be the work ethic side.
Yeah.
The way she run remind me a lot of myself. The way she runs, you know, is like, man, that's me reincarnated.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Relay, she gonna her leg fall off because she hated the 400. I made her a quarter mile because I know to be a great sprinter, got to be a good quarter mile. So I'm preparing her for later on. I'll make her run the 800. Mental, it's a mental aspect.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. So since she's so calm, can you just let us know one of your playlists that you listen to before a race, Shawnti? I know that you've been chilling and you listen to your music. Can you just let the fans know? We only want one. We're not gonna tell them all the secrets.
The main person I listen to when I mainly listen to. I listen to a lot of Billie Eilish before I run.
Okay, awesome. So Batman, we're gonna come back to you. And now that you been to St. Aug, what was your accomplishment? What was your biggest accomplishment at St. Aug while you was there and under the guidance of legendary coach George Williams?
I think the biggest achievement I had at St. Aug is getting my college degree. I'm the first in my family to get my college degree. I'm a big fan of school. I preach to my kids all the time. What happened when the sweat dries? I could be the best athlete in the world, but without, at some point that's going to be over. And then what's next? So I think the biggest achievement was getting my degree. As far as on the track and field side, I didn't lose a single race in college. Not a single race. I won the 200, the 400, anything I ran, I won. I went 20.3 in the 200. I ran a whole bunch of 45 lows. I didn't really run as many to break 45 seconds. But, I was a great athlete. I think that was the biggest achievement, is making everybody around me better. 3 out of 4 of my relay team went pro. Them guys probably never knew. I set the standard. I trained, and at one point, my teammates like, you trying to impress the coach. Nobody knew who I was, and I trained and I worked, and I was like, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm trying to go pro. Yeah. I'm trying to take care of my family. So, I think the biggest achievement though was getting my degree.
Okay, so that's awesome, man. So all the listeners out there, and all the young kids, and all the collegiate kids, and I know that I want to say something, and I want you to give advice for the young kids in college right now, just to hear from you, because hearing from you, that means a lot to them. So 2003, you run for St. Augustine, and you won the national championship, and then I want you. We're going to move on to 2004, which I know you probably not want to talk about too much, but just before that, I want you to.
It's good to talk about.
Yeah, just before that, what advice you have to a young collegiate athlete right now that's running and going to school? What advice would you have for them?
Apply yourself. Set goals for yourself. A lot of kids don't set goals. A lot of kids has no expectation of what they want to do. And I think, setting a goal, you have something to shoot for. You have something to achieve. And for me, I set a goal. For most, it was unrealistic. But for me, I thought it was doable. And I set this goal weeks, and I tell kids all the time, anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. So, my thing to any collegiate athlete, any high school athlete, set a goal for yourself, never sell yourself short, and work hard every moment you get, because you never know. Like, a lot of kids, I hear kids say, man, I messed up the first 3 years of my high school season, and now I want to be serious, and the pandemic hit. So, I always train like it was my last, and I always treated everything like it's my last, because you never know what tomorrow might bring. So, you know, set the goal for yourself, you know, holding yourself to a higher standard than everyone else, and you know, and shoot for your goals. You know, don't be afraid to, you know, set your standard higher than you think, because my standard was set. I set the bar high, and everybody who I affiliated with told me all freshmen say that. I went pro as a freshman. All freshmen say they're going pro. All freshmen say they're going to run fast. But I really believed it. So if you believe that you can achieve something, can nothing stop you? That's my suggestion to any collegiate or high school.
Okay. So we're gonna move on along. So, you know, obviously you have a successful career. I'm pretty sure that coach wish he could have had you for 3 or 4 more years. but unfortunately, we move on to the 2004 season, which was the Athens Olympics. So Bershawn Jackson coming out, he in college, he made the team in 2003, went on to represent the United States. So 2004, everybody's looking for you to win the Olympic gold medals. Tell us what happened at the trials.
2004, everybody expected me to win it. Like, you know, at one point I had the fastest time in the world. I went over to Europe right after college, and I was bumping heads with Felix Sanchez, and I just knew, okay, I'm about to make my first Olympic team. And it was funny weeks, because I did a presentation when I was in the 8th grade, and I said I was going to the 2004 Olympics.
Yeah.
And I get to Olympic trials, and I'm favored to win Olympic trials. Like, man, my dream about to become reality. Like, wow, I dreamed this. And I'm looking at this paper, and it said 2004 Olympics. So I win my first round weeks, and I win my second round, and I got to the finals. And weeks, once again, I had an episode of Jamaica. I don't know what happened. You know, it's one of them things where I needed growth. You know, I needed more time. I was still young. I was raw. I was 19 years old. And I got to the last hurdle, the 8th and the 9th hurdle. No, that's the last hurdle. I got to the last hurdle, stutter step, and crashed the hurdle. And I was, you know, only thing I seen is the finish line. Okay, I'm winning. And all I hear is Bershawn Jackson winning, Bershawn Jackson winning. And all I hear is, oh. And I crashed the hurdle. And when I crashed it, I broke so much momentum. And I tried to recover. And I went from first to second to third and got in fourth. And the fourth guy caught, and then when the third guy caught me and I got in fourth, I tried everything in my way. He was right here next to me. The times was, the second place was 48:08. I'm sorry, 48:05, 48:06, and 48:08. Second, third, and fourth. So for me, it was devastating weeks. It was an experience that I needed to go through. It was an experience that I don't think I really learned from, because I was young and I was ambitious, and I was like, you know what? Next year, they're going to have a problem with me. I'm going to learn my stride pattern. I'm going to learn how to become a 400 hurdler, because I didn't know at that point. You know, I didn't have no stride pattern. I didn't know I was taking 15 strides. I was going, just running. I was just running. I was ambitious, and I was like, I just want to win. So I had to sit down and come up. Me and my coach had to come up with a plan. Like, we're going to have a plan, and we're going to stick to this plan. And that's 2004 season, and 2005 season came around with a new and improved Bershawn Batman Jackson.
Yeah. So 2004, I mean, guys that's out there that's watching, Bershawn Jackson, 2004, it went down as a little disappointment for him. So now this is a story that is a redemption, you know, and I could relate to that you know, that every year it's a new season, and every year you try to come back better. So even though 2004, it still was Batman was just coming on the scene. I mean, he didn't make the Olympics, so I know that got to be inspire you for 2005. So let us know about 2005, because guys, this man was #1 in the world in 2005. After disappointment in 2004, he was the world champion in Helsinki, Finland. Now, I could tell you about that race, that anybody that know about track and field, this race was run in the rain, on a wet track, in a cold temperature. right? I mean, literally, everybody know that track and field is outside. And literally, guys, I mean, realistically, when you do all the conversion, this possibly could have been a world record race based on the condition that he has to run into to run that time. So tell us a little bit about what 2005 year, that redemption year, I've made for Bershawn Jackson to come back and win the world champion and be #1. How that keep you in your career?
So it started at the Grand Prix Finals. It was a meet in 04 called the Grand Prix Finals. And I ran 47.8. I finally cracked 48 seconds.
Yeah.
That meet set it off because it's like, okay, they told me the analytics said 47.9 as fast as I can go. I went 47.86 in PR. So I went home and I took my month off and I came 2005, that fall in 04, I came with a different mindset. I came with a different, for some reason, I don't know if it's the Miami culture, but I was a party. I like to party, that's just me. I like to party. I like to have fun. And that fall, I can remember not even having a sip of liquor, no drinks. I drank water. I hydrated. I ran my miles. I did my abs. I did everything to a T. I went to a guy named me and Coach Williams, and I figured out a stride pattern. I figured out everything was broke down to a science. And my first race, I ran my fastest season open ever, 48.5. My second race, I go to Japan, drop 47.60. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And I think that set it off. And every race I ran after that was 47, 47, 47, 47. And I took my first defeat that season because I messed up in the rounds, right? I overthought, and my coach, it wasn't my coach, it was me. My mindset was conserve energy and wait for the finals. So I settled for third place. And that's my immaturity, right? And I settled for third place, and I ended up drawing lane 1. So when I drew lane 1, Karan Clement was fresh out of college, and he knew that I was the guy to beat because I was dominating that whole season. And he went 47.2, and I ran 46. I went 47.6 out of lane 1. I went 47.60 out of lane 1, and I was upset because I lost. But I'm like, you know what? I made the team. It's a relief. I took 4th last year. Now it's time to go to the World Championship and show the world what I'm made of. And I get to Helsinki, and I can just remember weeks when I went there. I don't know if it's ambition. I don't know if it's arrogance. I wasn't leaving Helsinki without a gold medal. I had it in my mind. I had it in my head. And I said, I'm going for a purpose. Leading up to Helsinki, I felt like training was so easy. Like I was coming through 45 through my 450s. I was stepping down over the 9th hurdle at 37 mid. And I'm like, this is fast and strong as I've ever been. I'm ready. So Coach Williams said, you know what? Practice over. My first round weeks, blow it out.
Yeah.
Second round, I jogged 48.1. When I say I jogged, I came off the 9th hurdle and I looked around and put it in cruise control. And I jumped the last hurdle and slowed it down a little bit more. And I stopped, and that clock said 48.1. And I was like, whoa! Like I was excited. Like, wow, like I'm about to run something crazy tomorrow. And the heat after me came back and ran 47.8 and 47.7. Like 3 of them went 47 in that heat. I was like, oh man, it's about to be a hot finals. So the morning of the finals, I was nervous. I was overwhelmed, and did my regular ritual. Woke up, ate breakfast, took a nap, ate lunch. Tried to take a nap again, ate a late afternoon lunch because I was the premier race. The premier race. So we went off. It was the last race at 10:30. Now we get to the stadium. It's pouring down, raining. They delayed the meet. Yeah. And then they delayed it some more. And then they canceled the 100 hurdles and had to do it the next morning because you still had 3 finals, which is the 800, the steeplechase, and the 400 hurdles that you had to compete. So if they run all the meets, it'd be 3 in the morning. So they canceled all the other races, and we waited, and it was storming. You couldn't even see because it was raining so hard. Tracks was puddle. So we had to keep stopping our warm-up, and we had to wait. We warm up again, and we had to wait. Then they postponed the meet for about an hour. And I just remember me staying calm the whole time. Weeks. I didn't budge. I had no emotions. I was just ready. I was like, I'm ready. I went off my race plan like a million times. I'm gonna get out hard for 2. I'm gonna back off just a little bit. At 5, I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna stay on top of the hurdle. I'm gonna stay aggressive. I'm gonna stay on top. And I think I owe a lot to Dad Thomasu. Dad Thomasu pulled me through that because he get out so hard. I said, I'm gonna let him pull me through the first 200. And I'm gonna let my athletic ability take care of itself. And I can remember being puddles, and I can remember Felix Sanchez false starting to take me out my game. Not just me, the whole anybody in the lane. And it was that one false start rule charged to the whole field, and then the one false start next is out. So Felix Sanchez, we knew that was coming, but I was ready regardless. Wow, he false start. Get up, and I take my last deep breath for weeks. I remember getting out, executing the race on point. I executed the race to the T, and I got to the 200-meter mark, and I won again. And then my teammate, James Carter, pulled up on me, and I just knew. I was so confident that season. I knew no matter who came beside me with 2 hurdles to go, you would not beat me. And I crossed the line first in weeks. I was happy, but once again, I went to Helsinki to get this medal. Yeah. So it wasn't the joy I would have felt if I would have won the latter part of my career. You know, it was mixed emotions. It's like I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah. I did what I was supposed to do. I came here to get this gold medal, and I got it. And the biggest thing was that 47.3 took me by surprise. I didn't know I was running that fast. I didn't think about no time. I didn't think about no weather. I just wanted to win. And I think a lot of kids don't understand, Weeks, like you said, how fast that is running 15 strides the whole way. 15 strides, people watching, girls do 15 strides. The little Muhammad run 15 strides. Sidney McLaughlin run 15 strides. You know, so for a guy, a male, to run 15 strides and be that efficient, to me, I think about it now, it's like, wow, how did I run that fast? And I ran 47.3 quite a few times in my career. Yeah. So, you know, Helsinki was definitely a redemption year. Yes.
Well, that's definitely, guys. I think that Bershawn Jackson is really a wonderful kind guy. I think that he proved that you can't go on numbers and stats and all that, because look, whatsoever God make you, you could be the best at that. You know, whatever God make you to be, it's not a limitation. You could use that and be the best at that in anything that you do. So what you did out there, man, I always admire you, always applaud you. I mean, I know that you know, you were one of the first guys. I'm not seeing. I mean, I know that your story will inspire a lot of runners in you know, that's coming up. That like, if Bershawn did it, I could do it. You know, so you paved the way for a lot of people coming up. I just want to touch a little bit on about Sonia Richards-Ross in regard to. I personally know you. I know that she is a good friend of you, and so just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Sonia Richards in terms of you know, your guys' journey from high school, and what type of rituals you guys do. You guys travel a lot. I mean, what you guys do when, you know, before a race, you know, just let the fan know that a little bit about Batman.
Yeah. So first, before I talk about Sonia, ask her who her godmom is.
All
Who's
right.
your godmom? So Sonia is her godmom. So it just shows how close we are. You know, it started in high school. High school, we was really, really close. And from high school, we went to college, and then from college to professional. But you know, we helped each other get better. You know, she's a very dear to me, and I think you know,
I think we're losing your audio a little bit. Yeah, I think Bershawn has a little bit of audio issue coming from his side. So guys, but just to let you know that, as I said, I'll give you a little history until you get back on track. So Sonia Richards Ross is the Olympic champion. That Bershawn and Sonia has a history going back from high school. So that just to tell you that the type of person that Bershawn is. So we just believe that people becomes friend. It's not by accident. I know that Sonia inspired him in a lot of way, and I know that he inspires Sonia. In track, whenever you got teammates in college, you feed off, or even in high school, you feed off each other. Like, if one's starting to do well, another one starting to, you want to keep up. So Ian, until Bershawn get back, just from what you're hearing from Bershawn, what type of athlete do you think he was?
Well, basically listening to Bershawn and knowing that, you guys take your career professionally to the highest level. You guys are both Olympians. But as I listen to Bershawn here, I can hear three things about him. He's a leader. He's a leader in himself. All right? And also his mindset. You will realize all the talk, he'll be talking about the mindset. You have to have a positive mindset. And he will tell you from the beginning his background. He wasn't from the best neighborhood, it seems like, but yet still he had a mindset that, guess what? You identify this talent, I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna be the best. He decided he'll have to be the best at what he does. He's gonna give it his all. And if you listen to him, even in his kid, he's telling you that, guess what? If you're gonna do it, you're just gonna do it. It's just like the Nike brand. Just do it. There's no time to play. If you're coming on here and you want to run, you're gonna go and be a beast at it. Nobody just gonna come and beat you. You gotta be the trendsetter there. And I got that from him also. Realize, so basically work and integrity, Ian. We will be coming from States, and work and integrity. That's a foundation. He did not go to States, but he has that foundation, work and integrity. He was willing to do every single thing possible to be the best, even with failure. And the failure that he failed, a lot of athletes would take that as an achievement, because you realize he came third, he still medal, came fourth. And he looked at that as a failure. But many athletes would, on a world championship stage, Olympic year, just finishing fourth would be good. Just being in the top 8 in the country would be good. And you realize that he even had a bronze medal, but for him, that was not good enough. And he knew where he went wrong. And he was able to go back and apply it. You see, he said, hey, 2005, man, I gonna dominate this thing. He is gonna dominate. He already said he went there with the mindset that, guess what? That goal is mine. I don't care. I don't care if it rains, if it hails, it doesn't matter. And if you realize it rained and it hailed, and he decided that, guess what? This goal is mine. So the mindset that he went in with, it is telling you that sets him apart from the rest of the athletes. He beat every athlete. Simply means they're saying that his height was not, was not the best for this. But guess what? He proved them all wrong by doing 47.3. That's an unheard of time for an athlete of his stature over that distance. So you realize that definitely this man is a leader. His mindset is a winning mindset. He is determined. And I said, work and integrity. He put in the work, and you realize that you give them the result. But the best thing about it that I love, man, is the fact that he was able to overcome all those obstacles. Because I know, when somebody sets you up to be the winner, and it is high, and you go there and you did not perform to your peak, it's gonna hurt you personally, but then it's what's gonna stay around you. And I know you would have to go through all of this. But yet, next year, guess what? I am gonna dominate. I don't care. Hail, rain, I'm taking home that gold medal. I really appreciate you, man. I respect you. I take my
He's back. Bershawn is back with us, Ian. Are you able to see him?
Yes, he's back.
Okay. Welcome back, Bershawn. So we know that there was a little technical difficulty, and but I'm sure we're happy that you're able to come back in. So just to recap a little bit, obviously we went from the 2004 to the 2005 season. You redeem yourself now. So now this is the funny part. So everybody know what it's like to in defeat and know to be a champion. So now you be in the world championship. Describe a little. Well, let me take that back. We were supposed to talk about Sonya Richard-Ross a little bit. We want to describe your friendship with Sonya. How does that mean to you? How was that important to you during your track and field career?
No, it was very important to have somebody that's like-minded next to you, that's very ambitious. We had a ritual, like we prayed before every race. We hung out before every race. We ate breakfast together. We ate lunch together. We had our pre-game hype session together, and then from there we prayed. And it's something we did our whole entire career. It's always good to have childhood friends and share the same memories. The same heartache. Like I was with her when she got the bronze in the 400, and she was destroyed. And I was there, holding her hand, and she was there when I fell over the last hurdle and didn't make the final. So, to have somebody in your corner such as yourself, Weeks, because you was a huge piece to the puzzle as well. Having friends, building friends along the journey, and having people by your side that care and say, "Man, I love you no matter what." I couldn't ask for a better situation, especially with Sonya. This is where you find people from the same area, and you grow up and you achieve the same goals, and she ended up being the American record holder. So, I just couldn't ask for a better situation, a better story. I was in her wedding, and my kids, her god kids, and her kids is my god kids. So, she's beyond amazing.
So just for me, how did this friendship started and when? Because I know that you guys are from in the same track and field district, but tell us a little bit about how did it start and when?
So 11th grade it started. It started about 10th, 11th grade. We started our summer track. Been the same summer track. She moved from Jamaica here. We moved to Miami, and we ran summer track together. We did all local meets, and it all kick-started. Went to New York to the Armory for the New Balance Indoor Nationals, and was only two from Miami. We knew each other from the local area, and we hung out with each other. Like we was there. It was just me and her parents, and of course we went to the junior trials, and after that meet we started hanging out, right, being friends. Then the junior trials and the World Juniors where our friendship elevated, and then we went to college and we kept in touch and we talked all the time. And that same passion that we had for each other, far as friends, just kept resonating as we moved up together. Like, I did 1 year of college, she did 2 years in college, and we made every team, and every time we make everything together. So we had our little group. It was me, Sonya, Lauren Williams, Wallace Spearman, and LaShawn Merritt. Because we was the young kids of the group. You know what I'm saying? So that was our little. That was because everybody else, we had Marion at the tail end of her career. You had Maurice Green at the tail end of his career. So everybody was leaving out, and you had that new group emerging. So, like you said, a relationship started very, very young. You talk about 2000. So it's been 20 years we've been together.
Yeah,
20 years that we've been friends. So it's a blessing. 2 decades.
Man, that's awesome, guys. Everybody know how it is to have loyal friends, and loyal friends, I mean, it's better than any amount of money that you might want. Better than friends. Good friends are better than pocket money. And so this friendship is more like it's everything in one. It's a sister. It's a friend. It's somebody that encourages you. Somebody you could lean on. Somebody that knows you. So it's always good to say. Ian, I have a question.
Yes. Before you move on, since we're on the relationship part here, Bershawn, discussing relationship. So I wanna ask. I don't wanna leave Shawnti out here. So Shawnti, in terms of relationship, I know a father and a daughter relationship is something that nobody can understand because I am going through it now. I have a 2+year-old and a 7-month-old daughter, and the relationship that we have, it is next to none, and it brings so much joy to me. So what I want to know from you, Sean, in terms of off the track, I'm taking you off the track. In terms of relationship with your father, off the track, what stand out most to you about your father as a father?
How your relationship is with your father off the track,
What stand out most?
like what you love most about me off the track.
So, off the track, he's like very fun and outgoing and crazy. And it's like there's never a dull moment with him. And like we're actually pretty close. And like we just always have fun. We could just be sitting out in the house and he just makes it fun.
Awesome. But
That
I
is
know
so much
Bershawn.
so important for our fans to hear. A father and daughter relation is so important. And just listen to Bershawn as he talk. I know he have to be a super positive influence to Shawnti. Because personally, I listen to you talk, man, and I just feel the energy that is radiating from you. There's no way she can in that house, and that energy is not just all over her. So really proud of you as a father, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Awesome. Hey Shawnti, so I have a question for you again. And this is we're trying to know a little bit about you. And exclude Bershawn and Sonia. Who is your favorite athlete? I want to exclude your dad and your godmother.
Probably English Garden.
Who?
English
Who?
Garden.
She said English Gardner.
English Gardner.
Okay.
She like English. She like Tyloo.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's good to know for the guys that's watching. Now you know where Shawnti get all some of his our inspiration from, because obviously she admire other people than the people that's in her family circle. So we glad to know that can you tell me on the male side somebody that you admire, like to watch?
As of right now, no allows.
Good to say, Bershawn.
She said no allows.
Oh, Noah Lies. Okay, also okay. So guys, that's out there. We already know that Noah Lies. He's one of the very great prospect right now for entire track and field. He's the world champion last year in Doha, and he's on track right now. At his age, we just know that Noah Lies are on track for great things. So I mean, I personally know his dad. He used to run back in the days, when I was at George Mason. He comes from, both his parents are former athletes, and we just I think we're just glad to know that Shawnti, she has now have some people that she look to that's already paved the way, and we're just looking for great things for her. So now we want to find out also again about you. Yeah, 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 Shawnti. Yeah, I'm seeing it here. We got a little bit of scratching in the audio coming in. Still, but we're going to go through. We're going to go through anyway. So, Shawnti, what type of challenge do you face as a teenager right now? Like just running and going to school. Do you have any challenge that you might, that you might have, that you'd want to share with us?
Hey, Weeks, can I switch phones? It's very, very static.
Yeah, you could go
Okay.
ahead and we'll talk until you get
Yeah.
back.
Just go ahead and exit yourself. Just got up. Yeah. Yeah, Ian, fans. So we're back again, guys. We're trying to get some better audio coming from the feed from Bershawn coming in. So we want to make sure we got nice audio so you could really continue to enjoy this story of the Jackson family, the daughter Shawnti Jackson, which is a 100, 200, 400 high school runner in Wakefield, North Carolina. And then now we have Bershawn Jackson, who's so successful that we want to touch base with him a little more and just to let you guys know what he's doing with his life right now after retirement. But we got to talk about the Olympics also for him to give us a little description about his Olympic experience. Let me try and bring him back in right now. Okay, he's coming in. All right, he should be back. Okay, here we go.
Yes. Is it a lot better now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I apologize. I apologize.
Yeah. Because notice I was leaning over a little bit to hear you some of the time. Because it was But yeah, it's excellent. So the last question I've asked Shawnti, it might be a little tough question, but I'm not gonna bother to ask you that question. I'm gonna ask you what advice would you have for like young athletes based on what you have accomplished, so the young athletes that's coming, like some 8-9-year-old, what advice would you have for an 8-9-year-old person that want to run track now?
Just have fun. Because, like, some kids, their coaches make it seem like they have to do it and they have to get it right, and they make it seem like a job. You just have fun. And don't take it too serious.
Great.
Okay. That excellent. So, in terms of your teammate, what when you go to track meet, what people expect of you? Does that put any pressure on you? Is everybody expecting you to win? Does that put pressure on you? Or you deal with that, or how you feel about that?
It doesn't really pressure me. I just they'd be like, you need to run a 52 today. I just be like, okay, and just going at my day and do as best as I can that day.
Okay, awesome. So again, another little question I have for you. Do you have any rituals or anything special you do before a race, or do you prepare like the night before you go to run? Do you sleep like 12 hours, or you sleep like 10 hours, or you take your uniform out the night before? I mean, oh, do you have anything you like to share with about that?
I take my clothes out. I get my one black sock and my one white sock, and I have everything out. I go to bed for a good 8 hours. I wake up, and at the track meet, I warm up. I sit down, wait for my race, and I warm up again, and I just sit there talking to my dad. We don't talk about the race, but we just talk about random stuff, and then I go to check in, and then right at the line, I think about what I have to do.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So this one is I want your dad to hear. Let your dad know how much it means to you, that the support that he gives you as in terms of being at your training, taking you to the track meets, because we know that as a parent, I mean, it's like it's a lot of work, but because we're passionate about your succeed. So what just explain to us how much that means to you with the support. And I said, we're not leaving your mom out, because we know that she supports you like 100% too. So we but let's let us know how much the support means to you and for you to pursue your dream.
It means a lot. Without him, I wouldn't be running track. I probably just going to school, eating snacks all day, and just gaining a whole bunch of weight, watching TV. So it means a lot. He helped me become who I am.
Okay. So other than track, now, can you tell me what is you like to do off the track in your spare time?
I like to go outside and play video games with my brother, play dolls with my sister, just spend time with them.
Okay, awesome. So we want to make sure we get this for the record. What's your goal and dream in terms of what would you like to see yourself like in 10 years? Not even 10, but in the future. Where do you see yourself going in terms of track? What would you like to accomplish out of track and field?
I want to make it to the Olympics, have at least one record in one event.
Okay, awesome. So
Hold on,
that's how.
you saying world record, American record, like what you mean by record?
A world record.
She won a world record.
Right.
All right, so
Y'all
I'm
heard
not
it first.
gonna.
Y'all heard it
I'm
first.
not. Yeah, we want to make sure we have it for the record because we're gonna have this video, and because a lot of us we look back on our childhood stuff that you write down, stuff that you might say. That stuff might come back and it'll inspire you because you remember when we're doing a story when you've been to the Olympics and you win your gold medal, we're gonna say, look, I said I publicly declare. I'm telling you that you on track, girl. And I mean, I couldn't be more happy on the journey that you on. I mean, in terms of just being so open and just willingness just to say, look, I don't like the 400, but I'm going to do the 400. That is the work ethics and the determination that your dad was talking about, to say that, look, you have that because he pretty much run 800 if he have to. I mean, he ran he was very successful in the 400 also, and typically it's not easy to do the 400 hurdle and the 400 combination. So I mean, and he's pretty fast guy too. So I'm waiting for that day. So Shawnti, in what you think, when you think you'll be able to beat him in the 400? Do you think any more? Do you think it's a couple more months or a couple of years? I mean, when you think you'll be able to get him?
In the 400, I mean, yeah. I might need about 2 more years, but in like a sprint or something, I got him.
I love that.
I tell her all the time, she could beat me. I say, baby, listen, I did this for a living. I was a pro athlete. I wasn't just no average Joe. You had to wait at least 8 years after I retired to beat me. So I gave her a taste last year. I said, you know what? I'm going to race you. We're going to race for 30 meters. Yeah. Yow! Pulled off on her. She ain't ready for me yet. But since she can beat me, I like it.
Yeah, because as I said, I looked on her 400 time and running a 53. I mean, and I know that she could go faster.
That was her first outdoor meet when she ran 53.6 her season opener. But we don't run that many. You know what I'm saying? Like I do it more for strength, not more, to get better. Like I think if we focus just on the 400, she could probably run 51 high, maybe 52 low.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried. And I said I know that I ran a 400 last year and I ran a 51.4. With my old self. But I couldn't imagine like racing my daughter on the track. And we're fighting in the home stretch.
Not yet, Weeks. I don't think she can get me yet. She got about, because I think I still can run. I think I still can run 47 seconds. I think right now, at least.
Okay. Well, we just want to get it for the record because she said she's giving you 2 years, to get you in the 400.
We're gonna line up.
We got it on the record. So what you said, Ian, where is that video? Because it happened. My dad, Shawnti, I believe if you beat him, he's gonna pull up. I know him. He's gonna pull up.
I'm gonna fake a cramp. Grab my hamstring.
Go for the joint.
Yeah, he's gonna pull up. Look, we just so happy. I mean, just for both of you guys to come on. When I thought about interviewing you, I was like, I really love to know a little bit about Bershawn because we know that look, you have played a valuable role, and we're going to talk a little bit about your club, your track club, because we want the people to know what you're doing, and I want you to give some information about and just tell us what you're doing for kids and the plans that you have. But before we do that, I want to talk about 2008 Olympics. We know that you have was going back for another gold medal. But guys, this was history. You know, it takes two other American teammates to beat Bershawn. I mean, in the Olympics, and it's in the history book. Obviously, it's always good when you know, you could come home with a medal representing your country and run with the flag, and you know, just the fact that you know, you was able to share it with your teammates. Tell us a little bit about your experience in Beijing. What was it like to redeem yourself from 2004? I know it wasn't the gold medal, but look, a medal is a medal. And for me, I think that that's in the history book. You will always be an Olympic medalist.
Good question, Weeks. My Olympic experience was, it was bittersweet, right? The bittersweet part is I never been so nervous in my life at Olympic trials. I took fourth at last Olympic trials. I waited 4 years, and it's like, okay, I got to get this right this time. I can't mess this up and wait another 4 years. But Weeks, I went out there with the mindset, I'm making this team. And I won Olympic trials. Now, to put everything in perspective, I won every race leading up to the Olympic Games. I was unbeaten in 2008. And I get to the finals, and in my career, it's the only race I wish I could take back. I ain't gonna say I choked, I overthought my race. I had too much time to think. I kept saying I can't go out too hard. I don't want to go out too hard and die. In 2008, it was the best shape in my life. I'd never been as fit as 2008. I ran 2 400 hurdles in practice with 10 minutes rest in between. 48.8, came back 10 minutes later, 48.3. 10 minutes rest, 10 hurdles all the way around. Like, I was fit. And the experience to begin with was amazing. Like, I go to the Olympic Games, I get all this polo stuff, you know. As a kid, you talk about, oh my God, I'm going to the Olympic Games, I'm winning the gold medal. So everything was coming into reality. It's like I'm making my dream reality right now. Like, I'm actually in Beijing. I'm actually about to achieve something that every kid wish they could have opportunity to achieve. And going to the finals Weeks, I was definitely the favorite. Everybody knew Batman was going to win because I was running so many consistent 47s. I jogged 48.09 in the semis. I went 48.02. I ran 48.02 in the semis. And I shut it down. And I'm like, I'm about to PR in the finals. And I get in the finals and I let the moment take me under. The moment took me under, right? You see the torch, and it's loud, and it's cameras flashing, and the camera all in my lane, and it's like, okay, here's that moment that I've been waiting for. And I kept thinking to myself, don't go out too hard. Go out hard the first 2 and back off and save for the end, and don't go out too hard and die. And I thought, and I almost didn't medal. I was 5th coming over the 9th hurdle, and I was 4th coming over the last hurdle. I caught Danny McFarlane over the last hurdle, and I caught Karan at the finish line. So I had too much coming home, and you know, I think God puts situations to teach others, because it's a situation now where, you know, I had an opportunity to make my dream reality, and I blew it because I let my emotions get the best of me. So I said, you know what, Weeks, and I'm going to go a step further. I said, you know what? I'm an Olympic medalist, and I'm blessed to say that, right? But I'm going to come back and I'm going to win 2012. And I get the 2012 Olympic trials, and I ain't going to call no names, but my hurdle was crash.
Yeah.
My 8th hurdle was crash. My 8th hurdle got crashed. I kind of went high to avoid it and broke my momentum. Yeah. I took 4th at Olympic trials, and I had the fastest time in the world in 2012. I ran 47.6 that season. The winning time Olympic Games was 47.7. Having a dominant season. 2012, I opened up 48.19 at Kansas Relays. Fastest season open ever, 48.19. And I went and filed an appeal. I filed a protest. They denied it, and they would not tell me why. But my Olympic dream was took in 2012, and they tried to cover it up, and they tried, you know. And it's okay. I'm gonna come back 2016. I'm gonna come back with a vengeance. I lose my dad 2015, and I never recovered from my dad's death. make the finals, I come in dead last in the finals.
Yeah.
So I kind of, you know, said that and went further because you always got to embrace the moment. And, you know, track has taught me so much, and I faced so much adversity. You talk about a kid that came from nothing to a kid that achieved so much, and you know, in life that happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait 4 more years, and 4 more years come and something happened. I wait 4 more years, I lose my dad, and I just wasn't the same athlete after my dad died. My career went downhill. So, you know, I try to tell kids all the time, embrace the moment. You know, you train for that moment, you know, embrace it, because you never know what tomorrow may bring. And to go next to your next question, Weeks, is I started my own track program because track saved my life. You know, track put me in a situation I never thought I'd be in. I traveled the world. You know, people say I wear headbands because of you. And because of you, I want to run the hurdles. And I brought a different type of swag to the game. You know, I try to teach my daughter the same thing. Personality, like I'm a loving guy. I live with integrity. I'm in the stands, you know, signing autograph for the fans and showing the fans how much I appreciate them for installing their love into me. You know, because without them, it wasn't on me. So now my goal is to help these kids get to college. I want to save the next kid's life. I want to tell the next kid, you could be from the projects and still go to college and get your degree. You could still, you know, be 5'7" and be an Olympic medalist. You know what I'm saying? You could be 5'7" and be one of the greatest 400 hurdlers of all time. It's what you want as a person, you know, because, you know, I feel like, you know, everybody have different destinations. Yeah. And a lot of time kids put so much emphasis in, you know, I'm not good enough. You're not good enough because you're not trying. You know, when you start walking as a kid, you get up and you fall down. And you get up, you take 2 more steps and you fall down. So we all gonna face adversity. And you know, my wife always say, you know, God puts you in situations to teach others. I went through a lot in my life, and I had a lot of heartaches. I had a lot of great moments, and I have a lot of regrets in my career because I didn't know no better. You know, if I knew what I knew now, I'd probably go 10 years unbeatable. You know, I never lift weights. I never really took supplements. You know, I trained hard every day, and I got injured a lot. I was blessed with some great training partners. Ian Wheatley, I love you, brother. I couldn't ask for better training partners because we all had that one mind. That's to be great. And it wasn't no animosity. I went to track meets and I tell them I was the man at this point. I say, look, my training partner pick his lane first, and then I'm going to pick whatever lanes my training partners don't want. That was me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, God put in a situation to help others, you know, and I was blessed to be in that platform where I was the man. So, you know, I started my track program on that cause. Like, I want to help kids succeed in track and field, teach them to develop them in a sport, because Olympic Games not won at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 30. The Olympic Games won when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, developing in a sport, the mindset, the work ethic, the personality, the approach, the accountability.
So Batman, so just tell us what's the name of your track club and where you guys are based, and approximately how many kids are you coaching on your group, and you know, and what you guys' mission. I know you repeat it, but we want people to know that what you're doing right now with your club. So, you know, what's the name? And
so the name of my club is Run You Express. We based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I try to keep my team small. You know, I turn down some kids because you got 900 kids, somebody gonna miss out. My team been around now for 5 years. And in 5 years, we got 58 national titles. We got 19 national records. And we got an army full of All-Americans. Last year, a kid from my club won the U20. Freshman in high school, ran 51.17. Ran 51.17. So, you know, our club it's been a blessing having a club. You know, our mission statement is help kids succeed in the sport. The development part, school first, you know, teaching the kids, you know, school is important because you need something to fall back on. When the sweat dries, what's next? You know, so that's our biggest motto, you know, letting kids know that You know, school is important. It's paramount. So that's a little bit about the track club. You know, we got really good coaches that, you know, I went to school with, and the blessing is the two coaches, Chris and Pup, they both from Miami, and they came to St. Aug. You know, I helped Pup get in. Louis Eugene helped him get in school at St. Aug, and it's crazy how people from Miami, and we go to Miami, and we all end up in North Carolina, and we all together now for one cause, helping these kids, you know, better themselves in life.
Okay, awesome. So that name, can you tell us a little bit about how you come up with that name for your track club?
So I'm a diehard University of Miami fan. I love the U. I'm from Miami. I love the U. And I kept trying to figure out something to go before you. I want to incorporate the U. So it's like, forget you, fast you. Like, we were just coming up with little random stuff. And then we was like, run you. We run you. Like, we're like, yeah, run you. Like, it was all together. And it's crazy how that name created his own brand, because it's, you know, people, everybody know in the nation, if Run You Express at the track meet, you better get your popcorn ready, because I teach my kids that mindset that I had. We gonna go out there, we gonna fight. I don't care about wins and losses. I care about fighting. We're gonna fight, we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna win. For me, winning is working hard. Winning is getting better. Winning is progressing. For me, that's a win. Because once again, it's the journey. Because you know what you're doing at 9, 10, 11 don't matter when you're 21, 22. You see a lot of phenomenal athletes at a teenage end up not doing much in the latter part of their career. So, you know, like I said, I'm preparing them. I'm preparing them to be great young individuals, great athletes, and teaching the kids integrity, doing things right when no one's looking.
Guys, you heard that Bershawn Jackson, Run You Express original, with background information from Miami. He's from Miami, and obviously he's trying to represent his city, and he's trying to bring his club onto the platform, into, you know, just to create other young kids, give them opportunity. You know, and I wish that we have got more track clubs, you know, for young kids to do more things, you know, in outside of high school, because it's important to keep the kids busy with things to do. So we applaud you, Bershawn. We believe that your club is continue to do the good work with the club. We're looking forward to see more talent. We're looking forward for you to continue to share your expertise and your experience. I'm sure these kids, when they hear that Coach Jackson, Coach Batman, wherever they call you, said, look, this is what you need to do. You know, so we just applaud you for that. So before I ask you, I got maybe one more question for you or two, and then we'll let you go. I know Shawnti, she probably not used to sitting down so long, you know, looking into the screen, but you know, Shawnti, tell her we really appreciate your discipline and sharing your time with us. I know you could be doing something else that's more enjoyable, but we believe that, we know you're going to be a superstar and you're going to do many interviews, you know. So this is just a platform that we could use to say, look, I did an interview before, and you know, I mean, I see you on Flow Track doing several interviews. So we're glad for you, and I want you to be the athlete that on and off the track, you know, that the way how you speak and the way you carry yourself and the way you represent, you know, as I said, I know you from you as a baby. So just to see that the journey that you're going, guys, yeah, you know, just the journey. So any final question towards the end of the interview, Ian?
All right. I'm gonna try to tie these questions with each other, so both of them could answer the same question. So I'm gonna have two questions really. So the first one, and they could choose who answer first. So Bershawn and Shawnti, the question I want to ask you is the best advice you guys have received and who gave that advice to you? So your best advice that you received during your career part, and who gave you that advice? And then I have one more question.
The best advice I ever got was from Jesse Hope, and he said you could lose money and get it back, but lose time and never see it again. So that's and basically he just let me know that embrace every moment, embrace every second, because tomorrow's not promised to no one. So you can lose money, get it back, and lose time and never see it again. So that's I think that's one of the best things I heard in my lifetime.
That was powerful. That's powerful. Shawnti, who would have given you the best advice and what it was?
Probably. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of good advice.
All right, just give us one.
Can't really think. Oh, it was go out there, have fun, don't take it too serious. By him.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Have fun. Don't take it too serious and enjoy it. I mean,
I think the biggest thing with Shawnti is I don't want my kids to feel like it's a job. I want them to have fun. I want them to embrace the sport. I want them to create the passion for it. If it becomes too much pressure, then they're not gonna have fun no more. Then it's all over. So that's why she said it a lot. Just go out there and have fun. But we're gonna compete though. We gotta compete.
Okay, great. Next question here. Bershawn, as a father, you'd have seen my little baby just came by in my hand. So I'm always about family, and I've already seen, I have not known you before today. People may think I've known you before today, but just listening to you speak, you're speaking from your heart, and you speak with a passion for what you do. And before I get into the question, first I just want to say my condolence in regards to your father. I basically work as a nurse, so I know about post-traumatic stress disorder, how that can affect somebody. We may have another day to talk about that. But what I want to talk about is that as a father, because I see you're bringing another, your kids there now. And this is the question which is really, really, I love the fact that you just come in with your kids when this question was about to ask, man. As a father, I realize even with Shawnti, 2008, you would have basically been in the Olympics at that time. So she couldn't have been more than basically a child. And
she's a baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how do you manage to balance, a family life with the track and being able to do so well? I'll say your journey, you managed to not just hurdle on the field, but hurdle in life. I can hear your journey, man. You hurdle not on the field, and probably that's a good reason why God had let that become your pet event, because you learned to hurdle, but not just hurdle on the track, but hurdle through life. You've been hurdling through life from what I listen. You've been through a lot of challenges. You hit some hard spot at time, and for you to go dig deep and come up with certain time, 47.3 at height 5'7". That's not easy. I'm a tall guy, so Ian probably didn't tell you I'm 6'7", so almost almost a foot over. But I just want to know, man, how do you balance that life, with family, the kids, and manage to do so well on the tracks?
It's motivation, right? My kids, my motivation. Shawnti had the privilege to come to Japan at Osaka, and she came. She traveled with me to Europe. They my motivation. When I first became a father, I didn't know how I was going to be as a father. There's no handbook on how to be a father. Only thing I knew was I was the sole provider, and I'm going to raise my kids to be great individuals. I didn't want to put too much emphasis on track and field. I didn't want my kids to follow in my footsteps. I rarely, advocate for my kids because I want them to create their own legacy. But to answer your question, I think my kids are my motivation. You know, I want to be a good role model. I want to be a great example to my kids. I want them to know, okay, this what hard work look like. You know, in life, things aren't not given. You know, because my kids, all they know is my daddy got a big house and my daddy got a lot of money, not knowing the blood, sweat, and tears that I put in to create this legacy, you know? So, but, you know, as a whole, I try to separate father and coach because at first, you know, I'm very competitive. If I say come through in a minute, come through here in a minute. So I bump heads with my kids a lot. You know, I have 3. You know, Shawnti just turned 15, 10, soon to be 11, and an 8-year-old. And I teach them all the same. You know, in all the other kids that would run U Express. So it's been a great journey being a father. You know, I enjoy that more than anything, you know, because all 3 of my kids are totally different. You know, they all got 3 different personalities, and I try to fit in every last one of their personality and be daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like father. Like you could buy kids everything in the world, and they want something else. But the things I teach them along their journey, along their way, they're gonna remember a lot more in them damn tennis shoes or a bicycle. You know, my daddy taught me how to fish. My daddy taught me how to swim. My daddy taught me how to ride a bike. You know, that means more to me than anything. Having that everlasting memory of their father. So, you know, that's always been my goal, always been my mindset. And I try to hold on to that. Even when I was an athlete, you know, my biggest thing is, you know, winning on TV. And they're like, oh my God, my dad just won. But you know, Shawnti and my kids are so humble. Like, you know, Shawnti probably the most humble kid you could ever meet. So modest. You know, you wouldn't know her dad's an Olympian if you didn't ask her or if you didn't know. You know, you wouldn't know her godmom is Sonny Richards Ross if you didn't ask her or you didn't know, because, you know, she don't go around boasting and bragging. She just a great kid, you know. So yeah, fatherhood's been great for me. Fatherhood's been great, and it's been my biggest joy. And I think the biggest joy I experience is come across the line first, and they're like, "Oh my God, my dad just won," or they say, "Oh my God, that's Bershawn Jackson kids," you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's Batman kids, and they like, you know, filled with excitement, you know, knowing, okay, my dad was an Olympian.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, awesome, Batman. That's great. I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question on that, and then I'm gonna ask Shawnti. Shawnti could think about it. Shawnti, go ahead and think about what's the most proudest moment of your dad. Think about that. Bershawn Jackson, what's the proudest moment that you could remember of your daughter right now?
I think the proudest moment of my child is a couple years ago. She went through growing pains, right? And her growth plate was shifting, right? Her growth plate shift, she ripped her hip muscle off the bone. So she had to get a procedure done, and she was crying because she wanted to run, and she had to take a whole year off. And she came back last season as an 8th grader. And when I say she dominated the year, she came off injury and she won every meet indoor. She won every meet outdoor. She won a 1, 2, and 4. But the moment that made me proud was not only she like her victories, but in the fashion. You know, she ran 3 rounds to the 100, 3 rounds to 200, and it was a lot of running, more the mental, the psyche part of it. But the way she handled herself, the way she conducted herself, the way she went out there and she executed her races. And to put in perspective, she was 13, 14, and she ran faster than everybody at the race, at the meet. She had the fastest 100-meter dash out of the 15, 16, 17, 18. She was only an 8th grader. She ran the fastest time out of everyone. And she had the second fastest time in the 400, and she had the second fastest time in the 200. We talk about with high school kids, and she's an 8th grader. So the proudest moment is her coming off this injury, not knowing how she's going to ever be. Will she be fast again? You know, why this happened to me? Oh, my God. Like dramatic girl things, emotional. But the way she came back, the way she worked hard, the way she showed her resilience, that made me proud because I see what her future holds. So that's a proud one for me as a daddy.
Okay. All right, Shawnti. I know you get a little time to think about it. I know, you know, I hope you didn't change them up. I know you probably got several, but what you could remember to date. What's the proudest moment of your what you could remember about your dad?
Hey, so the proudest moment was, I don't remember the exact meet, but like I don't remember like the exact date and time. But I remember he had to go to one track meet, and we couldn't go because he had school. But I was watching him on TV, and it was just like I was proud of him. And I was just so proud of him. Of course he won.
I must.
Of course he won. Of course he won. I love that one.
Won is that.
What if it's hey Batman? What if it's the Diamond League final?
Probably Diamond League final.
It was a major league. A major meet. I know it was like a really big meet, but I forgot what meet it was.
All right, awesome. Man,
yeah. I want to ask one question. I want to ask one question of Shawnti, and you know why I'm going to ask her this? Because I've already seen the greatness upon her. She have greatness within her, and she's just gonna walk into her greatness. And the fact that she can sprint, man, she's gonna sprint into that greatness too. So you know, as a sprinter, I realized her time of 11.57. You know, we watched that race because we were watching it, and I'm telling you, I could feel the energy, and I just watching her. But Shawnti, when you got to that finish line and you realize that you won this race, you did not just win the race, but you dominated the race. You know, I know you're gonna win some Olympic medals, so you're gonna have this type of feeling. So now I want to get it early. How did you feel when you get over that line and know that, guess what? You just won that race and dominated it.
Good question.
I don't really think about it too much. Like, it doesn't hit me like right when I cross the line. Like 10 minutes later, I just think, I'm like, man, I just won. Because like it doesn't hit me right. So it hits me like an hour or like 30 minutes later. And I'm proud of myself.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
That was a great question. I look at history, right? And history always repeats itself. And Sonia Richards-Ross held the 13-14 record, and it was broke by a girl named English Gardner. She broke the record after her. And then Kaylin Whitney came back and broke the record after her and ran 11:59, right? And Allison ran 11:75 at that age, right? But I say that to say this: Shawnti broke that record. So I look at history like, okay, all the people that broke this record, you ran faster than all of them at this particular age. Like, so I just look at her future as, wow, like, you know, if she continued to stay humble, continue to work hard, continue to put her mind in the right situation and put herself in the right situation, I think she'll be pretty successful because you all who you hang around. So at this age, it becomes what friends you hang around. You know, being cautious on who you hang around, you know, determine your success. But, you know, she's been on an amazing path so far.
I totally agree, Bershawn. We know that been through the system of the progression just to see where you're coming from and where you at. We basically could see that the path that she's on a journey that it's definitely it's in a bigger position than people that already won gold medal for the United States. So we just want to let you know, Shawnti, that just keep doing what you're doing. Trust in your parents. You know, trust in your family. You know, listen to them first. Knowing that, look, I'm not gonna do anything without my dad. I'm not gonna do anything about my mom. Because if they've been there from day one and they're guiding it through. So I don't see where, and it's been working. So I don't see any way that will be different. So my next question, Shawnti, we know that we're in a very tough time right now with the COVID-19, and your season was cut short this year. How disappointed were you that you wasn't able to run this 2020? Because I know you was looking forward. What were you looking forward for this season? What were your goals, and how disappointed it is for you right now?
Good question.
So this year, I wasn't really trying to like break anything or something or anything. I was just trying to like put my name out there, and I was just hoping that like colleges and meets and stuff could start looking at me, and they could start putting me in the invitationals, and mainly just putting my name out there.
Well, look, your name is already out there. You're Shawnti Jackson. You're the fastest 14-year-old in the state, and you're proving that in the United States.
And the nation.
In the nation. So your name is out there. And you know, so when you say you want to put yourself out there, is another goal that you have that you're saying you want to we know, look, I'm just telling you that you're on the success path, and you're already out there. How disappointed was that not for you to run this year?
So it was very sad because the beginning of this season, the indoor season, I had really bad joint pain, so I couldn't really run, and the season didn't really go as I wanted it to. But towards the end, I started coming back. I won states, and I finished it as good as I can.
And you was trying to get ready for the New Balance.
Oh yeah, and I was getting ready for New Balance, and then everything just got canceled.
So what was your feeling? What was the first experience when you got the call and when they're saying that, look, school is going to be closed and you're not going to be able to finish school. You're going to have to finish online, and you know, you're not going to be able to train. What was that like? How did you feel about that?
I was kind of upset because I worked so hard for it all to be canceled, and I didn't know how to react.
Yeah. Okay. So during that time, what were you able to do? Any training at home, or you just take a break? What are you doing right now?
I'm taking a break.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that you're spending a lot of good quality time with your dad and your mom and your brothers and sisters during this time. So it's always good. This break is gonna be good for you because your future, you're probably gonna be run. Bershawn could tell you, he probably never have a summer off, probably for like 15 years.
Yeah, so I gave it a time off. You know, I didn't want to beat her body up. She got a lot of years to run. It wasn't worth compromising her health, getting her sick. So take the rest of the year off. We start back fresh next year.
Okay. So, Bershawn, we're about wrapping up right now. So I wanted to know this from me personally. What's your favorite country or your favorite meet that you like to run?
That's a good question, and that's a tough question, right? Because
let's tell me the top three then.
I'm gonna name 3 places that I enjoy running. I'm talking about they love Batman and the track and the atmosphere. Zurich, Switzerland is one of them. Zurich, Switzerland, and this is gonna sound crazy, but Des Moines, Iowa, at the Drake Relays. And my favorite place to visit is probably Monaco. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Switzerland was Switzerland holds really good meat. So that's a tough question because every meet means something to me. Like, you know, my first ever professional win was at Madrid. So I got a special place for Madrid, Spain. And then I got a special place for Switzerland because everywhere I go, they love Batman. Like, I became a fan favorite in Switzerland. So Lucerne, Zurich, and then Sweden, Stockholm. But you know, if I had to narrow down to a couple, I would say Zurich. I would say Des Moines, Iowa. You know, Des Moines, Iowa, you would thought I was from there. You know how much they love me there. Yeah. And of course Monaco. I love Monaco. The fans not as passionate like the Zurichs of the world or Paris, but just the atmosphere being in the French Riviera, like it's just amazing scenery, and you know I look forward to going there every year.
Well, I remember I have the privilege to run against you in Monaco. Not gonna bring up too much history about.
I was gonna ask you guys. All right. Let me ask a question before you go. Batman and Ian wasn't gonna get away that easy in a Batman. I was gonna ask him, you know, because I realized that you guys have developed a relationship because of this 400 hurdle. You know, you see that both of you seem to motivate each other. You guys become friends because of the distance. So my question was gonna be to Ian before he closed this thing out was, Ian, I want to hear the experience, how it was being in a race with Batman and knowing that, guess what? This man is gonna be a man, I don't know to beat, but to catch up with. Yeah, I don't know. How did it feel to be in a race, both of you guys?
Well, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit. Batman touched on this, but I could talk about 2 times when we race against each other. I think it's the 2 most memorable time. Again, we go to the Kansas relays like every year. That was a meet that Bershawn liked to open up the season as his first like big race. If he runs anything local around here, it'd probably be relays and but mostly his first big race of the season is traditionally like to open up at the Kansas relays. So I have the pleasure to train with Bershawn for a couple of years, and we developed a great friendship. We got the opportunity to travel together to the meets, and it's like a season opening. So we have a season opening. We celebrate a little bit after the meet, just to kick the season off. Bershawn, I remember one year we went to the meet, and he was so generous that he want us to do just as good as him. So he was so generous to say, Weeks, I want you to be most comfortable that you can for this race. And whatever lane that you think you could do that in, you go ahead and just tell me what lane you want. If I'm in that lane, I'm gonna give it to you. So Bershawn was at the time, he was the man. He could dictate who run what lane. And so at the time, I personally in my history like to run on the outside. I don't like a lot of curves, because I alternate. I was a guy that do 14 steps around the track, hurdling. Bershawn does 15 steps. I do 14. So I alternate every other hurdle. I could hurdle with both legs. So I like to run at probably lane 5 or lane 6. I run all my best times in the outside lane. I don't know how that happened, but I ran my best on the outside. So when I go to Europe, since these guys, I'm not as good as them. Whenever I get a spot, I'm either going to be in lane 1 or lane 8. So what I do, I prepare for one of those. So I prefer to take lane 8. So those are some little inside thing as an athlete, what we do. So so going back to that race in Kansas City, I was able to run in front of Bershawn. I think I run in lane 5 and he run in lane 4. So that was one of the most, it gave me a great confidence knowing that I'm running with the best runner in the world. And, my training partner, my teammate, that I train with, and he offered to say, look, Week. So that was one of the things that I'll never forget about our race experience doing racing each other during the years. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever beat him before. I was hoping that I could get one of them at some point. But for some reason, when he runs bad, I run bad. When we do race each other. Now, the biggest stage I ever raced him on was in the Diamond League final. No, Grand Prix final at the time in Monaco. And I think, I can't remember what year, either 2003 or 4, one of those years, or 2005, I think. So I was able to, at the time, that was the end of the season. So it was a great feeling to knowing that I raced against Bershawn. I wasn't in my best shape, but I got a call to get a spot in the final because of somebody dropped out, and I was the next person on the list. So I took the opportunity and I go over there, and obviously we know that just to run in the final, everybody get paid. So it wasn't a matter of what position. Look, I asked my agent, I said, what place is 8th place? And I think at the time I just said it was still better than what I make at some of the other meets. So that was a great opportunity. I do believe we went and enjoyed the city of Monaco after the race. Have a great time. I believe Sonia was there too. And so those are the two greatest memory. But I could tell you one thing, Bershawn Jackson believed in me. He always say that, Ian, man, what happened? I mean, you was doing so good when we was here, and obviously he could tell you I made bad decision also in terms of my running career. Sometimes just trying to take care of the family and just what comes with it, not we tend to sometimes just make some decision for different reasons, so I believe that overall I still believe that my career was good, but I just knowing that just running against Bershawn and training against each other, I just know the type of athlete he is in terms of we running 1,000 meters together. We running 800-meter hurdles. You probably never heard of that before. But we run the 400 hurdle, and just imagine running an 800-meter hurdle. So he's going to be a great coach. Whatever he already a great coach. Whatever he decides to do, he's a hard worker. He's a passionate guy. He give it his all, and I'm just happy to be on a platform, and I'm happy to be friends with him, knowing that we were training partners. We travel the world together, and I'm happy with the job that he's doing with his daughter right now, and with all of his kids. Really, we just want to focus on one right now because she's the oldest. But we just know that she's leading the way for the others that's coming up. And I know that they're trying to be better than her. So guys, just look out. The Jackson family, man. It's a great history, strong history. I know his dad is really proud of the work that he's doing with his family. I know he's not here now, but I was in Beijing. I met him in Beijing in 2015. Yeah, in 2015, and then things changed after that. But it's always a pleasure, Bershawn. I know that you continue doing the hard work. We want to give a shout out to Coach Williams because we know that a lot of the stuff that we learn, we're learning from Coach Williams. And we couldn't leave this program without saying that. Look, Coach Williams just be strong, and I'm looking forward for him to back coaching, winning more championship back at St. Augustine.
Yes. No, I thank you guys, Weeks. I thank you guys for the opportunity. I thank you guys for the interview. What's crazy is you say you met my dad in Beijing. He died a month after Beijing. He came back and he had a massive heart attack. It was right after Beijing. So, it's crazy you mentioned Beijing because he was actually there. So, and my stepmom was there and my sister was there. So, Yeah.
All right, Ian, any final words?
Man, I'm just really happy that I get to sit in with three great athletes, and it was a pleasure because just even sitting here, I got so much from this interview in terms of Bershawn, his work ethics and work and integrity, the way he looks at life, the way he overcome and hurdles in terms of his challenges, but then also to look at him as a father figure and what he's doing inside of his home. But just to hear in terms of value express, run, he is setting up this whole system that other youngsters can benefit. They can basically fulfill their athletic dream, because of him being a mentor, putting together this. It is not easy for somebody to just take it up on themselves. It's basically stretching yourself to make somebody else have something that, probably he would have desired at a tender age if he was in a camp like this, having great coaches, great mentors. But guess what? He's not sitting and wait for somebody else to do it for these kids. he take it up on himself to do it. And I'm just so proud of him as a father. And
Thank you.
I,
Thank
if my kids should ever come up and love athletics, you'll see them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
definitely
Thank
bring
you.
them to the camp, man. Proud,
All
proud
right, guys.
of
So,
Shawnti running.
yeah, all right, guys. So it was real good for you to join us. This 2 hours. I want to show Shawnti race to close this out one more time. I know she probably watched this race 100 times, but we believe that we just so proud of you that we just want to show you race, and we'll show this race, and we'll end the broadcast after the race.
You are muted. You're muted.
Oh.
She's such a distraction. We need to lock her in the room. We need to lock her in the box.
And we're underway. It is Jackson and Jackson. And Shawnti taking the lead. James coming along with her, but it's Bat Kid all the way. In an 11 and a half, and that may be a new record. It is 11:57. Shawnti Jackson knocks down Kaylin Whitney's old mark by 0.02 of a second. And it's real simple in the 100. Out of the blocks, up to speed, keep it turning over. And she does it that well, and I'm sure Batman is happy right now with that. 11:57. James a nice 11:85. And Kenner 11:86, quality field. And another record at JO's. And of course, periodically we have to add the disclaimer: all records are pending becoming official.
All right, Bershawn. Thanks for everything, and we'll talk again soon. Have a safe trip home.
Okay.
Peace, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care, Shawnti, and continue to sprint in your greatness.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Ian, any final thoughts? I know we on overtime right now. We're thinking 2 hours interview.
It was just an amazing interview. Amazing to see the journey. Of this great athlete. Where he's coming from. He didn't let his background hamper him from working and running in his greatness, his talent. He made full use of his talent. And just to know that he's a great family man and he's a leader in himself. And I really love that about him. And I learn a lot from him. His heart, it's in a good place. And just to see, the kid is following in his footsteps. But the good thing about it, she is going to be more focused, going to be a better athlete overall. Simple mean that she has whatever it takes around her. She has a network, a team. She has a father that believes in her. She has a father that basically gonna ensure that, guess what? He brings the best out of her. She's not gonna, if she's in, she gotta be in. Just do it. Nike. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, guys, as I said, it was a great experience. As I said, I love interviewing kids. I believe that they're always good to put them on a platform just to starting to, it helps to build their confidence. And I believe Bershawn was happy to sit on the platform with his daughter. I believe it's probably one of the first time. I never seen an interview of them together. And I'm just letting you know that the family also with I think it's a 10-year-old. She could run too, and he has a young son, BJ, that actually is very good at football and track. I follow the family because of the relationship that I used to have with Bershawn, just training with him. And as I said, he always like this. He always down to earth. He's always a good guy. He has a great heart, and I'm glad you was able to experience that. Just meet this guy for the first time. Never talked with him, and so he definitely make our interview easy. And I said it was a joyful occasion for today. So on that note, This was another great episode of Real Talk with Ian and Ian, where we bring family, friends, and loved ones just to share their stories, real life stories, like what we did today about just their journey in life. And we like to back it up and just to get the full journey. So this platform give everyone the opportunity just to share their journey and the experience in life. So with that said and done, that's my final word for today. Until we'll meet again, God bless.
And Ian, there's a program coming up. Surprisingly, this was a fast one, but we're gonna have a quick program, the pandemic and cricket, which will be 9 o'clock with Ahmed Rama, a man who basically follow cricket all around here in America. He loved the game, he played the game, he hosts the game, he commentates in the game, and we're just gonna do a quick discussion on the pandemic and the way it affect cricket. So viewers, if you're watching, you still could come back on at 9 o'clock and we'll get it. This one wasn't planned, but it's a quick one. But we know the seriousness of this pandemic and how it's affecting every sports across the nation. So we're just gonna tune in for a quick half an hour, and you'll sit in with me and Ahmed Rana. Ian, he got his other spiritual side of Ian. Ian will be in church. Tell us about that spiritual side, Ian, in a minute. Let them know that, man, you're a spiritual man.
Well,
So,
I mean, it for me, it's just always trusting the Savior that gave me the opportunity to continue to live my best life. I believe that in my younger days, doing a lot of things just by my feeling and just by influence. So, just being a man right now, I want to lead, I want to lead with the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I believe with all my heart that since he died for me and he gave me a chance to forgive all my sins, I'm just so happy now just to put the Lord first in everything we do. So it seems spiritual, but it's only right for me to put the Lord first, and my priorities has to be in line. So he is the one. The Lord gave me the health and strength. He provide for me, keep me. So I'm just doing that in return. It's just that simple. It's nothing different. That's the life that I supposed to be living. And I'm just happy that I found a new life in Christ.
amen, brother.
Yeah.
Blessings. Peace out.
Right.
Love you guys, our fans and followers.
All right.